Hello and welcome to the Gangneung Hockey Centre for Day 2 of the Pyeongchang 2018 Paralympic Winter Games. We are here for para ice hockey action with the United States of America facing Japan in a repeat of the Vancouver 2010 gold medal game. I'm Jonathan Bell and I'll be taking you through every shot, save and smash over the course of the next 45 minutes as these two Group B hopefuls go head to head. And a noisy and vibrant contingent from both sides of the North Pacific have made the trip to the northeast of the Republic of Korea for this one. The 7th Paralympic meeting between the United States and Japan. And it is the men in blue that hold the upper hand with 4 wins to 2 defeats. And those 4 American victories have come in the last 4 matches as well between these two sides. And the Americans have not conceded a goal. Japan back after their Day 1 defeat to the Republic of Korea by 4-1 in what proved to be a destructive third period being their downfall. It was a defensive mindset constructed by coach Kujin Nakakita that seemed to be paying off. But in the end, it was the Republic of Korea's class that told, and that's how it affected the standings after Day 1. This, the first game for the United States of America, of course, the reigning gold medalists in para ice hockey. The officials for today's game: Christian Nikolic, the main man in the middle from Austria, and alongside him, Matt Clark to the right from Canada, and to the left is Korea's Yor Han. So the two captains meeting in the centre. The American skipper Josh Pauls, the 25-year-old, named best defenseman at the 2015 World Championships, and 47-year-old Satoru Sudo, the man for Japan. So America with gold in Sochi 2014. They also won in 2010 as well. They're the only outfit to have got back-to-back gold medals, led here by Guy Goslin, leading in the first Paralympic Games. And this is how the American roster looks. It's going to be Jen Lee to start as goaltender, despite the fact Steve Cash was the main goalie in the 2017 World Championships and flag bearer as well in Sochi 2014. As for Japan, no questions as to who will be their goaltender for this one. Shinobu Fukushima, the veteran, 61 years old. It's his 10th major tournament and 4th Paralympic Games. And despite his best efforts on Day 1, he in the end couldn't keep out the Republic of Korea's offensive flair. So there indeed is Jen Lee, who in his 2 major tournaments so far, the World Championships and the Paralympic Games, he's won gold in both. And Shinobu Fukushima, of course, part of the Japanese outfit that got the silver in 2010 in Vancouver. The Americans that time around were just a hurdle too far. But in 2018, who will be the victors? As the officials make one last parade around the starting circle. And we will be good to go here at the Gangneung Hockey Centre, 30 kilometres east of Pyeongchang. We are braced, we are ready for the United States of America against Japan, coming up in the next few moments. Huge anticipation ahead of this one, and the puck is dropped, and goodness me, if we have half as many goals as there are flags in the Gangneung Hockey Centre, then we'll be in for a treat over the course of the next 45 minutes. As Brodie Roybal gets his first opportunity to caress the puck, the 19-year-old who has had to get 3 doctor's notes in order to be at Sochi 2014, and it's a chance for him to get off the mark here in 2018 as well. Well foiled by Fukushima, who really had to spread himself there make himself big enough to block the daylight between Brodie Roybal and the Japanese net. But Brodie Roybal was just 15 years old making his Paralympic debut, and he did not look out of place at all. A real what to watch in the American ranks as Landeros tickles the puck in towards the Japanese end zone. He's going all the way and he's found a lovely offload as well. And the Americans are off the mark with just a minute played, and it's Kevin McKee who smashes it in past a despondent Shinobu Fukushima. And Team USA, the reigning gold medalists, are off with a bang. USA 1, Japan 0. It just seemed oh too easy for Landeros initially, and the team in white were just sucked over towards that far side. Kevin McKee couldn't have wished for more space as he closed down onto Fukushima's crease. He beautifully shifted it from the left stick onto the right and lofted it past the Japanese shot stopper. Just the start the Americans would have wanted. No nonsense stuff. And here they come again with Declan Farmer, and he smacks the post. Almost a second goal, 10 seconds after the first. And the Americans meaning business here, which is no surprise at all. These two sides met earlier on in 2018 at a pre-Paralympic tournament, the Four Nations in Turin, where the United States claimed gold and beat Japan twice, 8-0 and 9-0. And you fear with the way that USA have started here that it's that sort of scoreline Japan will be inflicted to once again. As coming forward now is the captain, Josh Pauls, finds Wallace, gets there and just hits it wide. He did really well, Jack Wallace, to stretch and get that initially under his control, but he just couldn't get it on target. Japan, their cage absolutely rattled here by this super American start. As the Stars and Stripes purr towards goal again, and Quebec has just smacked it wide. Every American bar the goaltender inside the Japanese end zone. And Pauls has it. Beautifully just moves it towards the far side, and the shot again going wide, this time from Noah Grove. The Americans so speedy across the ice. Wallace, will he chance his arm? He will. And Fukushima there didn't get the most sufficient grab on the puck at all, did he? Almost let that drop back for Farmer, but fortuitously for Japan they get away with it. First icing of the game, and an opportunity for Japan to have a bit of respite here, because they have been well and truly up against it in the first 3 minutes. Shot count already, 3 shots on goal from the Americans to Japan 0. Sudo mopping things up. Of course, the Americans have that renowned pace in para ice hockey across the ice, and it's unbelievable how they managed to use the upper body strength to propel themselves forward with the pick end of the sticks, which act as skis, and they really motor. For a few of the American athletes as well, double leg amputees, which means they have less weight to carry, and they are able to get around the ice at a much more sufficient rate to that of their opposition. As Christian Nikolic just holds things there with the puck dead in the corner. Another line change opportunity for Japan, who must be feeling pretty weary after the efforts they went to on day one against the Republic of Korea in that 4-1 defeat. Not much time of recovery for Japan. But I don't think fatigue really is to blame for the Americans just being so quick out of the blocks. The Americans resting on day one would have been eager to get out on the ice, and now they're on there. They're not wasting the opportunity Fukushima denying Rico Roman, who was going to struggle from that sort of angle and range to really trouble Fukushima. Low effort coming in from Paul, didn't catch it cleanly, but was still going in the natural direction. McKee, Mikovic, he's got Roybal in the centre, he finds McKee instead, denied a second. I don't know if that was a combination of Post and Fukushima, or just one or the other as the first big hit of the game on the halfway point. And that second one there between Uehara and Josh Pauls, where the puck was nowhere to be seen at all. Now Roybal, opportunity for him to licking his lips now and fires it into the back of the net. Brodie Roybal, welcome to Pyeongchang 2018. And the Americans with 2 goals in the first 5 minutes. Brodie Roybal, absolutely super stuff from him. He scored in his first game in 2014 in Sochi, and he scored in the first game of 2018 in Pyeongchang as well. Looked as if he just forced himself a bit too far wide right, but still managed to whip his right stick around the puck and leather it home. Neat is that. I'm sure he was just chewing that gum as relaxed as he was bearing down on goal as he was there.
Team USA goal scored by number 4, Brodie Roybal.
This is rock and roll hockey from America. McKee, he wants to get back in on the act, and it's blocked and stopped dead in the end by Fukushima. The block coming from Satoru Sudo, the Japan captain. Well, Canada on day one were absolutely ruthless against Sweden in Group A. And their North American rivals here, the USA, are just as keen to put on that sort of showing. First break of the game, USA leading 2-0.
Please remember, throughout the game, the puck may leave the ice surface and into the spectator area at any time. We appreciate your cooperation.
Guy Goslin in conversation there on the screen. Of course, replaced Jeff Sawyer early in 2017 after his shock passing just before the World Championships here in Gangneung. Jeff Sawyer, who led the Americans to 2 World Championships and gold in Sochi. It's a very sad passing indeed, and he's certainly in the American skaters' thoughts right now. Brodie Roybal, such a talent of the American roster, firing that one in. Back underway, Roybal. Let's to go the scenic route. Might get a bit of room as he fires it across, and there was a square of white shirts, but still the puck managed to find its way through. Roybal again, and just wide of the far post. It's absolutely mesmerising just to sit and watch Brodie Roybal at work. The way he glides around the ice with such ease and pizzazz. It wasn't as elegant as a collision there midway inside the Japanese defensive zone. But a big crowd here at the Gangneung Hockey Centre. And even those of a Japanese persuasion just have to admire right now the reigning Paralympic champions, who are almost in again. Roybal's first caress of the puck was a bit too heavy. He's got Misovic with him. Misovic has also got the option behind him as well, but instead uses Karen as a decoy. Now toying with it is Landeros. A little flick of the wrist back for McKee. Not much room down the centre right now. Landeros tried to thread it through, but it was always going to be a difficult ask for the puck to find its way towards Misovic, who was the furthest American towards the Japanese crease. Now Karen From distance, Misevic, lovely control, and he just couldn't quite find the back of the net. I think Fukushima again has managed to keep that one out. Landeros, side of the net. Now Declan Farmer with the outside of the stick, and that is straight down the throat of Shinobu Fukushima, who gratefully could just hold that and kill down the American momentum for now. This is the first opportunity. Karen feeding it beautifully through. Misevic, that is exceptional control. And then he flicks it with the left stick onto the helmet of Fukushima. Otherwise, that would have been 3. Wallace. Noah Grove. Uehara, committed as ever on the Japanese back line. But whenever Japan get their body in between sledge and puck, it's only a momentary release of pressure because the USA is so quick to get it back. First real involvement for Wataru Hori. Number 7 clattered into by Wallace. Japan have numbers back to negotiate this puck out, but there's no outlet up towards the neutral zone, and Uehara having to get it into the space on the near side. Japan attempting the forecheck there, it succeeded as well. Kumagai away. And whistle blown by the referee, Christian Nikolic. So it will be face-off. But as we look back to that audacious bit of play there from Declan Farmer, Japan maybe a first opportunity to get a strike in on goal. Sudo's effort was blocked, and he apologetically raises his left hand to say maybe should have recycled that out wide, because now Japan are going to have to flood back and the Americans are going to flood forward at just a quicker rate. Farmer has got the support with Pauls, and he's denied again by Fukushima. Well, I hope Shinobu Fukushima enjoyed his sleep after day 1, because straight into day 2 he's in the thick of the action once again. And it seemed all but certain that Josh Pauls was going to tuck that one home. Nicknamed Spudsy, bit of a joke in the American camp that he's got a head like Mr. Potato Head. Hori. Well, he's got supporting numbers there, but just not the right sort of angle, and the Americans just sniffing blood at every single occasion. Uehara, bit of room now for him to make inroads into. Quickly clattered by Grove, but still finds Kumagai. And the strength from Adam Page there enough to prevent the Japanese counter. Wonderfully picked up by McDermott. Now Roman just checks back inside, and as he did that, he was met by a bit of force there. McDermott picking up loose pickings and getting it onto the left blade. The puck stopped right in the heart of the Japanese crease. So the main question Japan are asking right now is how long is left of this first period. Koji Nakazukita on the Japan bench just keeps looking up towards the clock above the ice.
If you will, please remain seated.
5:48 remaining of the first period. United States with 8 shots on goal.
We thank you for your cooperation.
And yielding the 2 so far on the score sheet. difficult for Koji Nakakita, who had a brief spell at US International University level as a hockey player, to know right now what the right thing is to say to his team. Fukushima there may have been beaten twice, but goodness me, he's prevented it from being so much more. 6 big saves. Well competed face-off this. Who's going to take this one out? Sudo is your answer. Japan qualifying for the Paralympic Games in Östersund in October in a qualification tournament in which they finished second in after they were in the B Pool World Championships for 2017, relegated from the A Pool in 2015. It's been a bit of a rocky decade for them after starting it so well in 2010 in Vancouver with that silver medal. Been denied from an accolade further by the Americans in the gold medal match by this scoreline. But this is a scoreline that could get so much bigger. Page across, Landeros was just not quite there, but he is now to assist Page. Page just checked into by Sudo there, using the end of his slaves just to make his presence felt. Landeros. The Americans never hesitant when the puck is with their stick. There is always an option in front of them, and Page thought the option was to shoot. Went just wide. Everyone for Japan back around the hash mark. Landeros ghosting past Kadoma. Still going away from Sudo. He's been forced around the back of the net, but can he find the pullback? Well, it's casual as you like, Landeros there, just laying on his bunk and then playing it back, and eventually the effort is blocked. Landeros again. Now McKee, straight back on from the bench and looking menacing. Goodness knows how he was denied that by the heroics of Ishii. And then the effort wide from Caron. 3.5 minutes remaining, the clock ticking down ever so slowly for Japan, whose followers here at the Gangneung Hockey Centre, I think, are just watching in amazement of how good this American outfit are. Caron straight into the face there of Kumagai, and the latter losing his stick, but winning the puck back for Japan, which is the most important thing right now, just to deny America possession of the puck and that fluency that they gain from the momentum. Takahashi involved with Roybal. Takahashi, the only scorer on day one for Japan in that defeat for Korea. Roybal. Landeros was an option, ignored him, went himself. It squirms through towards the crease. Fukushima just manages to batter it away. And panic stations for Japan, who again can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief. Roybal again, the orchestrator. McKee denied on the first occasion. Roybal thought, you know what, I'm going to do this myself. And it took a important deflection on the way through to disrupt the pace of the puck towards goal. Paul's keeping the puck alive. Lovely interchange, and back it goes for the effort from Ralph D. Kubek. Still they come again. Effort comes in. That's the third one, and that's the most emphatic of the lot from Noah Grove, who gets his first Paralympic goal in his first Paralympic game. And he absolutely battered that one in past Fukushima. It's 3 for America in the first period. America 3, Japan 0. Well, that was a thunderbolt, wasn't it? No stopping that one. Noah Grove capping off what has been a thoroughly rewarding performance for USA so far.
The assist, number 16, Declan Farmer. Number 3, Ralph David.
Declan Farmer now. He's got Wallace with him. Wallace is through goal side. Real chance again, and Fukushima just sprawls down to his right-hand post. And just to get enough purchase on it to get it away momentarily. Farmer again working his way into some room. There isn't much in there right now. Japan just putting their bodies in there, but not much thought going into it as the USA picking them off at the moment. Like freshly grown strawberries. Farmer onto the left blade it goes, and that just cannons back off Sudo, and then from an ambitious angle, Farmer went for another one with the outside of the right blade. Not the first time he's tried that trick. And that's one thing that these para ice hockey players have got in their locker, particularly the world-class ones. They can just get in on the outside of the stick and comfortably flick it away with the wrist. Now through is Grove. Can he get a second in as many minutes? Denied by Fukushima. Not the first time I've said that in that first period. As the American shot count propels well into double figures. Icing there by the American for the first time in this first period with just over 60 seconds to go. Noah Grove just toying with the puck under his sledge and maybe just went a little stroke too far. Fukushima not being heavily worked on that occasion to deny the American 18-year-old.
There's 1 minute left to play in the first period.
Of course, with Noah Grove as well, he set out the 2017 World Championship final here in Gangneung. Of course, such a competitive American roster. Last summer there was a tryout in New York for American para ice hockey players to get involved in the team, and there were 60 there for Guy Goslin and his staff to choose from. And these are the best in the United States program right now. For goodness me, it must be very tough ask for those who are trying to push in to the roster to do just that. USA here in Pyeongchang for a third straight Paralympic gold. Canada with their message of intent on day one. The USA formidable in this first set of 15 minutes, which comes to a close now and looks as if it will end in the American defensive zone, which is certainly not a fair reflection of the way this first period has gone. But what a first period it has been for the United States of America, who have really caught Japan cold here. Quickly out of the blocks after their rest on day one. They have sprung into life on day two, and here at these Paralympic Winter Games in Pyeongchang with a bang. Goals coming from Kevin McKee, Brody Roybal, and Noah Grove. Gives it a very nice complexion at the end of the first period. United States 3, Japan 0.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Unattended property could be considered a security risk and may be confiscated by police. Please keep your belongings with you at all times.
안내 말씀 드리겠습니다. 방치된 물건은 보안상 위험 요소로 간주되어 수거될 수 있으니 개인 소지품 관리에 주의해 주시기 바랍니다.
Welcome back to the Gangneung Hockey Centre, where we are getting ready for the second period of the United States against Japan. It is the Stars and Stripes of the USA leading by 3-0 after a ruthless first period, which saw Kevin McKee get on the score sheet after just a minute. And then after that, the lead was doubled by Brody Roybal. 2 goals in the first 5 minutes. The pressure was still relentless, although it wasn't until the 12th minute where the Americans got their third. That courtesy of Noah Grove, the 18-year-old, getting his first Paralympic goal in his first Paralympic game. Tough task for Japan, who will be hoping not to increase the buffer any further. Of course, on day one, they went down by 4-1 against the Republic of Korea. They will have a day's rest on day 3 before day 4 they take on the Czech Republic in their final Group B fixture. The USA, this is their first game here on day 2. Still the Czech Republic and the Republic of Korea to come in the 2 days preceding this. But so far, so very, very good. Clinical from the United States. Japan, not too sure what Koji Nakita, Japanese coach, would have been saying to the roster at the break. Definitely just keeping the score down to as minimal damage as possible. There is a big bank of Japanese flags here and American flags as well. Well travelled, both sets of supporters, as we get ready for the second period of the United States against Japan. This place really is buzzing, and those of American persuasion are as well, after what they witnessed in the first 15 minutes. And immediately the USA trying to get a fourth onto the score sheet. Roybal as busy as ever. He's got so much ice to work with right now, weaving his way in between the white shirts. It deflected off one and then came off his teammate as well, who was Misevic, who will collect the puck in the corner and look to get another phase of play going here for the reigning Paralympic champions, 2-time Paralympic champions out of the 2 last Paralympic Games. And since the Turner Millennium, they've won 3 golds at Paralympic level and 3 World Championships as well. This is a real force to be reckoned with, I'm sure one of the sides that are here at Pyeongchang 2018 are already aware of. Or he will try and get claim to that, but he will never stop the puck going from icing there. Too much zit on it, meaning that play is immediately dragged back into Japanese territory. The USA getting the better of the face-off, 10-5 in the first period, but Japan making that count there. Kumagai leaving the puck behind him. It's well mopped up. Japan seems to be competing early on here, a lot better than they did over the first 15 minutes. Wallace fires it straight into the path of Grove. And that transition of the American sticks from the pick end where they accelerate forward onto the blade end where they can then get the stick handling in full flow is rapid and very impressive indeed. But at the other end, Kumagai taken out by Landeros. An important coming together as far as the USA are concerned there, as that was the first window of opportunity that Japan have got themselves. They'll get another now though with Uehara from distance. You're not going to beat Jen Lee from that sort of range, but it was certainly there to ask the question because Japan haven't done that so far. Jen Lee could be in terrible form right now, and the thousands that are in here at the Gangneung Hockey Centre. And the 5 on the ice for Japan would know no different, because they haven't given him the opportunity to show that. As America at the other end, they're just trying to force the puck through. It more or less stops dead. It's difficult for these athletes to get going again from that still position to then just motor forwards and get some head of speed. Dujubek clattered into by Uehara, as tenacious as ever. Bit of a gap here for Landeros, hogging it with the right blade and trying to flick it with the outside of it as well, with of course the option there of the left stick too for all these athletes. A good opportunity for those who maybe ambidextrous to interchange from one stick to the other, and it's really difficult as well for the opposition to get stuck in and get the puck back when that occurs. McDermott now. Effort immediately shut down at the first opportunity by Kodoma. Now Karen. Well, the angle again not favourable, and Japan's shape is a lot better in this second period so far. At this point in the first period they conceded 2. Still a long way to go though in this one, as we trickle towards the halfway point of this Group A clash. McDermott got 2 inside of him, may go alone. He was unbalanced there by the connection of Annika. Well, territorially, the Americans still on top, but Japan a lot more competitive and putting up a fight. Difficulty for Japan in this period is that if they're sucked in to the left of halfway, then it's going to be difficult to make them line changes as their bench is the right of halfway. They've got to make sure they shift up the ice, otherwise they're going to get caught cold, and they've conceded a penalty there as well. And the guilty party being now Kodoma. Just waiting for confirmation from the referees to what that was for. And it was teeing, which is an offence unique to para ice hockey. That's where the end of the player's sledge goes into the side of an opponent. Of course, the sledge is sort of a monopoly of the body. It's all together as one. And if an opponent goes in from the side with the end of the sledge, as you can see, it's actually Yoshikawa. They're just canning it into the side of Misovic. So that's 2 minutes out of the game for Yoshikawa and the American power play, the first of the game. And, well, the USA don't need an invitation for a goal, do they? But they'll get one now with the extra man on the ice, just as Japan were nullifying the American threat. The linesman there, Matt Clark, not impressed at all by the premature nature of Declan Farmer and Takahashi, trying to waft their sticks towards each other before the puck had even been dropped. The Americans coming out on top again, but Roybal not making the most of that one, which is uncharacteristic of him. The USA coming again. I think that was an offside there against Josh Pauls. Of course, with that extra man that the Americans have got, they'll be eager to break into the Japanese end zone to make it count. Bit too eager on that occasion. Pauls, that's a lot better. And McKee's got room, and McKee is very well challenged at the last by the frame of Masawa. Farmer now. Back for Pauls. That is dragged wide. McKee again. Roybal's in loads of room, and Roybal gets it and just was a bit too quick there and eager as he charged towards the puck. Didn't give himself the opportunity to bring it under control. He'll assist Landeros this time, who makes no mistake. Hit with a plump over the head of Shinobu Fukushima. And then it goes into the roof of the net. And the USA make their first power play of the game count. It's fantastic. It's 4. United States leading Japan by 4-0. Well, Roybal there getting an assist to his name now as well. And first time from Landeros. That is ruthless. Savaging the puck past Fukushima. This is 7th major tournament. Now, the only benefit of that, of course, Japan now back at full strength, but they would have liked to have seen out the remainder of that penalty kill. But kill it, they certainly didn't. Yoshikawa then. Now Sudo. Heavy challenge coming in. And another observation as well about the Japanese from the first period is that their line changes were very mixed up. And Farmer, as the Americans now mix up the scoring, finds the back of the net. And it's as easy as you like. Japan shell shock. America getting 5. USA 5, Japan 0. Well, you take your eye off these Americans and they'll punish you. And Declan Farmer there just going alone, getting to the hash mark. And unleashing a weapon of relative destruction past Fukushima. First of the game for Farmer, 5 for the United States. Wallace, the wheels coming off here for Japan. Wallace, big save from Fukushima. Just wafting the puck away with his right arm. Grove has Kumagai for company. Kumagai comes out on top but had no idea where the puck was there as he was going in the complete opposite direction. Has it now and feeds it for Horry. And again, the Americans just swamping around the puck and those white jerseys and getting it back immediately, and Farmer cracking that off the bar. Landeros, great agility from him to just stop in his tracks and then pick a pass. Grove has gone completely unnoticed. Fukushima just tapping the ice there and saying to his defenseman, look, these Americans, they're just drifting around, we're not doing anything. Wallace. And then the effort from Karan. Certainly not as forceful as the previous efforts that Fukushima has had to deal with. But after a promising first 5 minutes of the second period, everything's just unraveled now for Japan. The foundations massacred really by the power play. And ever since that American power play, they've been back into a higher gear. Roman. Pauls. Always an option free, but Pauls doesn't want them. He wants to go himself. He just goes a bit too far with it. Still the Americans flirting inside Japanese territory. Tame effort that from Rico Roman. Pauls, but Roman up in front of him. He's immediately clattered into by the attention of Nagumo. Now McDermott. McDermott again. Got it back off Page. That would have been a wonderful 1-2. Page will look to go all alone, will he? Back for McDermott, and that time it pays off. The trial run a few moments before wasn't quite successful, but that time they executed it to a T. And the USA have struck Japan for 6. McDermott now getting in on the act. And that was wonderful play from his captain, Pauls, who was just dragging Sheba along with him there, like it was his pet dog. And then he just let go of the lead and played it through for McDermott, who wonderfully drifted it past Fukushima.
Team USA goal scored by
Adam Page, in fact, with the assist. But certainly one that his captain Pauls would have been happy with. Lee just wants to get something to do here. Came well out of his goal, and that was a chance for Japan to seize an opportunity, and they were a bit too penetrative there towards the backboard. I think Jen Lee was getting a little bit bored of just watching all the play down at the other end of the ice, and he wanted to do anything he could to get in on the action. Could have been costly. Does mean that Japan have a face-off to try and win, and then pitch the tent for the first time in the American zone. But America, again, the ones dominant in the 50-50 battles. Pauls gets it back, and this is a great turn of pace from Pauls, who will go alone, and Page is in there, and it's surely going to squirm over the line. It does, and the Americans have another. They don't all have to be pretty. They all register on the score sheet, and Adam Page doing the dirty work there to force that over the line. The United States in party mode in Pyeongchang. Fukushima just slow out of the blocks. And was that Roman that got the last touch there? I think it was. Page trying to steal it off him, but Roman got his stick on it. So Rico Roman with the goal.
Team USA goal
Roybal. Here they come again. Just attack after attack, and goal after goal, and stunner after stunner. And Brody Roybal doesn't even let the venue announcers finish reading out the goal scorer and assist from the last goal before he inks his name onto the score sheet. It's 8 for the USA. Well, Fukushima just cutting a very desolate figure there. Tossing his stick towards the puck, which had already flew past him.
Team USA goal scored by number 4.
A tough first few minutes of this period for the USA. Japan really getting stuck in, but ever since that Japan penalty, everything's gone wrong. And now they're beginning to get more into a tussle with the backboard than they are with the opponent there. The 40-year-old Hideki Ishii just clattering into the backboard. Fukushima just denying that one from distance and nearly caught him out there. Ricocheted up and past the post. McKee, of course, got the wheels turning in the first period for the United States. Looking to provide Roybal again. This for the hat-trick. Roybal, beautiful. That was textbook from Brody Roybal, who is proving that he's a man well beyond his years suggest. He is a master of this sport. And again, that bit of flair in front of goal, too much for Fukushima. Just look at that, the quick interchange off the right stick onto the left. He knew where the gap was, giving Fukushima the eyes. You just can't compete. We are witnessing one of the stars, if not the star, of the game.
Team USA goal scored by number 4, Brody Roybal.
Roybal in full flow
His third goal of the game.
and hungry for more. Well, this matches the scoreline in the preliminary round of the Turin tournament earlier on this year. And of course, the United States in 2 games hit 17 past Japan. Roybal ghosting round the back, trying to provide for Misevic, who was occupied by a couple of white jerseys, and now it's McKee just toying with the puck, and Landeros there as well. Maybe a gap down the centre, but the acceleration of Team Shiba not quite at the level of that as the opposition. Takahashi scored on day 1, trying to give the Japanese crowd something to cheer about on day 2. Not to be for now. We've still got a period to go of this one. Will the Americans hit double figures like Canada did on day 1? Roybal has got support with him. Oh, it's a wonderful reverse pass, and McKee just couldn't put the icing on what was a fantastic cake provided by Roybal. .224's having a bit of class. Misevic, the better of Sudo. And the line change being made from Japan, leaving the gap for Roybal. Flicks it back for McKee. Can they make it work this time? McKee going for the reverse pass himself around the back of the sledge. Well, if this is what the Americans can produce in the first game, goodness knows what they're going to be like at the end of this Group B preliminary round. Landeros, again, just using the right. Will allow the flair players in front of him to interchange between the right and left. Farmer. And that just goes straight into the heart of Japanese territory, and that's comfortable for them to get away. Now Grove. Landeros. And that's an offside there as Grove just got in front of him. Felt as though Landeros was taking a wee while with that one. Wallace was waiting for a bus on the blue line and just tapping the ice, saying, come on, get it to me, get the puck in the end zone. We go for a break. It's the United States 9, Japan 0. Well, Roybal with a performance fit for royalty. He is on hot form. 15 years old for Sochi 2014. He had to get doctor's notes from 3 different doctors so that the IPC would allow him to take part, despite the fact he was under the age of 16 for that event 4 years ago. The worry being that he would be physically out of his depth. But he answered those questions, and certainly with his skill, he is well up there with the best in the world. Again, another offside there, and the guilty party on that occasion was Rico Roman on the far side as McDermott moved the puck along. Even the best have their faults, but on the grand scheme of things, the American faults have been extremely few and far between. Only blood on the copybook, perhaps the start of this second period, where Japan really seemed to have America where they wanted them, but that didn't last for long. And the USA have hit 6 in this second period, after 3 in the first 15. But more in the locker as well. You would not bet against them getting into double figures. UER are just dragging onto Page and just begging him not to leave behind. Pauls. Page again, Roman. It'll still find an American jersey, will it? No, it won't. Kadoma immediately squashed into the ball by McDermott, who picks a wonderful pass for Page. Didn't want to turn. Roman's there instead. No one in the centre for Roman right now. Flicks it back for Page. McDermott the nearest option. He goes the other way. Does Page, expecting Roman, I think, to still be there in the left corner. Inside the final 60 seconds. Japan must be feeling shattered right now. Page just couldn't bring it under his spell. The bouncing puck, never easy in any form of ice hockey, but particularly in para ice hockey, where it could end up ricocheting off the underside of your sledge. McDermott. Roman now surveying the scene. Eventually gets the support on the near side with Page, and just sit back and watch the Americans. You can just see how they just interchange positions so wonderfully well. They are one heck of a unit, and they are taking their first game of Pyeongchang 2018 by a complete storm. They mean business. Japan, unfortunately for them, just happened to be the ones on the wrong end of it. At the end of the second period, the USA hitting a further 6 on top of their first period 3. It's the USA 9, Japan 0.
rinks are similar to ice hockey rinks, but are converted to be accessible for para-ice hockey players. They are 60 metres long and 30 metres wide, surrounded by a wall called boards that keep the puck in play at all times. A red centre line divides the field in half, while two blue lines separate the ice into 3 zones: a neutral zone and 2 end zones. There are 9 face-off spots, including one in the centre of the rink. Goals stand at opposite ends of the ice.
All right, did you take a look at that video? Was that hard? It was hard. Okay, basically you're going to fill in the blank. That's a pretty easy game, right? Ready? What word do you think will come out of this? I'll give you a hint. It's a color and a line. What do you think, Caleb? Blue line? Are you sure? You commented, Caleb? Blue line이라고 하셨죠? 네? 축하드립니다. You're correct! And I am going to give you a 반다비 gift set here. 반다비 선물 세트 드릴게요. 축하드립니다. Thank you guys so much. 네, 저 지금까지 한단길이었고요. 여러분, 저희는 잠시 후 다시 뵙겠습니다. 네, China, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.
The Americans in cruise control here in Gangneung at the Gangneung Hockey Center, leading Japan by 9-0 in this Group B clash. The shots say it all, with Jen Lee in the American net having absolutely nothing to do so far. The United States really troubling Shino Fukushima, who was changed at the back end of the second period, and Kazuya Mochizuki will now be in the firing line against the United States side, who are taking no prisoners here. And even when it comes to the 50-50s in the straight-out face-offs, they have the upper hand as well. The Guy Goslin's men. And they've put on such a performance, which has ensured that those who have travelled from the United States thoroughly found the journey worthwhile. This the USA's first of 3 preliminary round matches. That probably the pick of the goals from Landeros. First time unleashing a firecracker over the top of Fukushima, delighting the American faithful. Declan Farmer also getting on the score sheet as well. Look how easy he made that look. That is not a skill that you can just scoff at. So heavy, it hit the net, hit Fukushima, and went back into the net once again.
Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy highlights for the second period of play.
Page giving Dermott the opportunity there to also getting on the act despite pressure around him. And Japan have done well in the second period to flood spaces in front of their crease, but even then Fukushima just isn't protected due to the sheer nature of the offensive line for the Americans. And they all want to get a goal, don't they? Paul's doing the hard work. Page thought he'd bagged one. Roman said, "Now, this is how you do it. I'll have that, thank you very much." Not often you get the opportunity as easy as that at the Paralympic Games to get a goal. And Roman was never going to let that opportunity slip. Roybal, though, well, he makes his own goals. And just look at the pace of Roybal there, rapid. You think you've seen him, he's already gone. And even Fukushima couldn't get his stick out to fly towards the puck in time. That probably just a sign of his frustration as well. Everyone here, Japanese, American, all the locals from the Republic of Korea, very much enjoying what has been put on offer from the Americans. A dynasty of top-class para ice hockey. Brodie Roybal very much at the heart of it, as both sides are getting ready now to re-enter the ice. Those with the red circled flags of Japan are sticking with them. Japan with a day's rest on day 3 after this, before the Czech Republic is their final game in Group B. That'll be a crunch clash between two sides who were in the top 2 of the B-Pool World Championships in 2017. The Americans were in the top 2, of course, 12 months ago in the A-Pool, missing out in the final against Canada. Perhaps seeking revenge here, but definitely licking their lips at the prospect of a 3rd straight Paralympic gold medal. Guy Gosling, this time the pilot of this potentially historic success. Long way to go, of course, in these games. The United States campaign in its relative infancy, with this being their first match of Group B, but they have wasted no time at all to show everyone here in this wonderful facility 30 kilometers east of Pyeongchang at the Gangneung Hockey Center exactly what they are about. So Jen Lee, hope he's not iced up from his lack of action so far in this game. There is the standing goaltender for Japan, Kazuya Mochizuki, who so far is yet to concede after his 5-minute spell at the back end of the second period. He's got 15 minutes to come, and the Americans are toying with the prospect of reaching double figures here as we get period 3 underway. And once again it's Roybal first onto it. It loops dead into the Japanese zone, and he fires it back for Mizovic, who collided more with Mochizuki than he did with the puck, and he lost his stick in the process as well. And that forecheck from Japan right at the start of every puck drop in the centre is just leaving so much room between the 5 Japanese skaters and the goaltender. It is allowing Roybal that sort of room and the freedom to work with. As at the other end now, chance for Kumagai. Takahashi making the inroads on the near side. Caron again using that speed, and that less body weight that the Americans have to carry around with them does give them that advantage against Japan, who are predominantly made up of single leg amputees. There's Roybal again toying with Kumagai. Perhaps should have gone alone there. He thought the offload was on to his left. Roybal, decision making is so quick. Mizovic just cannons into Uehara as he lost his balance there. And it's not often you see players in para-Asian hockey lose their balance, but it's a very difficult thing to prevent, because you've got 2 thin blades under your skate that you've got to work with, and that's the first big save that Mochizuki has had to make. He just pounced off his body and away to safety. Now Kumagai at the other end. Japan with their first chance, and Kumagai forcing Jen Lee into some action, and he has to just waft off the cobwebs there that may have been accumulating and make that save to his right hand side. Opportunity perhaps still on. Hori's got it stuck under his sled, manages to dig it out and spread it across, but only to McKee. What a scare America have had. But Japan did start the second period off well. USA dumping it into the corner to allow the line changes. The USA have been consistent with their lines in this game. Japan not so much so. And that was the case against the Republic of Korea on day 1 as well. And I just wonder if the Japanese are saving their best players, perhaps for that first match against Republic of Korea, because that was the one they were more likely to win. Paul's sliding it for Farmer, who's got a bit of work to do to prevent that going the wrong side of the blue line, but he succeeds and off he goes. Noah Grove taking care of the puck before Wallace gets in. Quebec Wallace. Will he spin and manoeuvre and shoot? He does, but it hits Farmer. Now Grove. Grove could just see a sea of white shirts in front of him, so he goes on the outside. Great movement again from the Americans, just getting 3 on 1. Whenever they're out wide, that time just couldn't engineer the room to create the opportunity. Off goes Pauls. Still going now, Pauls, and well, didn't he make that look easy? Sliding it around the backboard, just missed. Well, the first American, Adam Page, but Di Quebec had to mop up the seconds. Well kept by McDermott, despite the appeals on the Japanese bench, which were pretty half-hearted there, that it had gone into the neutral zone. It certainly hadn't, but players being killed nevertheless. With the USA still leading by that extremely handsome scoreline of 9 points to 0. This Roybal there just toying with Yoshikima. Mesevich missed due to the presence of Mochizuki. And then at the other end, Kumagai probably was off target anyway, but I think Lee just wanted to get his gloves warm and made the stop. Lots of colour in the crowd, lots of enthusiasm as well for this sport. Not just when the home nation are in town, but the crowd come to the Gangneung Hockey Centre. The crowds have been very strong so far in the first 2 days of action. Back underway into the final 11 minutes of this Group B fixture in the Para Ice Hockey. United States leading Japan by 9 goals to 0. It will be a 5th straight Paralympic win this for the Americans, and they've not conceded in those 5 games either. Of course, this is the 7th meeting overall. Japan won the first 2 back in '98 in the home games. But since then, it's the Americans who have held the upper hand, but they seem to hold the upper hand against more or less everyone they face. Horry, lovely pirouette from him. Not quite sure how much of that was intentional and how much was just the momentum of the challenge coming in. Uehara, that's good from him as well. Kumagai. Japan stringing a couple of passes together. Horry will motor, give as much as he's got left. Try and get towards the puck there. A couple of collisions down in the centre as well, and that's a loose play from Caron. Rare that from the Americans. Horry just stuck and surrounded by navy blue. And that glimmer of light that shone through the window of opportunity quickly eclipsed. Uehara trying to get himself out of a difficult scenario, and he uses Horry wisely there to do so. Roybal. Lovely cannon back for Caron. Space on the far side as well. If he saw it there for Misevich, he doesn't, but he'll get the penalty. Well, Caron, it's against Horry, who just lays on his side and wonders why. Call from the referee Christian Nikolic there seems to be pulling, and 2 minutes will be sat out by Watoto Horry. It's the second American power play of the game. Horry out for hooking. The Americans trying to increase their power play efficiency. A second goal in their second power play. Dikwa back. Well, there were 3 Americans there all going towards that puck, making themselves the option. Dikwa back thought he'd take control of it, but it doesn't amount to anything, and Japan seeing out the first phase of American pressure in this power play. Now back with Dikwa back again. This a super opportunity for the Americans to get double figures. Pauls. Page. Roman. Spins on a dime and back for Dikwa back. As Japan just sit in that diamond-like formation in front of Mochizuki. Pauls. Back on the outside it goes once again. The Americans trying to find the thread through centrally. Dikwa back may have the key. Roman taking his time and again just wanting to use that right stick to ensure it's under complete control. Dikwa back now taking care of it. Lovely cannon off the right and then onto the left towards the near side, but McDermott is put under pressure. There was too much pace on the puck as well. Then gets it at the second attempt, but the referee Christian Nikolic had already halted things. And we will have a face-off in the neutral zone. Well, there's only 36 seconds left. The Japanese penalty kill. So far, so good. Japan can see out the next 30 seconds, we'll be back to full strength without any issues at all. But you can never rest on your laurels against the United States. Lee getting a rare bit of involvement there. There's Pauls, so much white in front of the United States to motor into. Wallace just finds the white jersey rather than the ice in front of him, however. Farmer, Wallace did well to get out of the way, and Farmer's onside as the Japanese side gets a full strength. Wallace almost just put them back down a peg again. Grove does well to just bulldoze his way through. Pauls will get on the end of this and also get a bit of pressure in his back as well, which I don't think he appreciated from Kumagai. And Wallace just lumps it into the back of the net. Mochizuki beaten for the first time since coming on as goaltender. And finally the USA hit 10. United States 10, Japan 0. The USA's first goal in the final period. And this time Jack Wallace is the man on the score sheet. First time from Wallace, and how about that for precision? Wonderfully into the corner. Mochizuki looking round going, whoa, what was that? This American team have a lot of individuals that you can pick out, but as a unit, they all get involved. 8 different scorers for the 10 American goals. Farmer. The American message here, certainly, Canada, hope you're watching. Hope you're worried. Wallace back for Roybal. Lovely flick towards the near side, and it sits at the right time for Caron as well, who seemed to lose his bearings somewhat. Landeros picking up the second pickings. No one in the centre as the Americans just circle out wide.
Watch it, watch it! Watch it!
Misevic leaving it for Roybal. Roybal, lovely reverse pass for Misevic. Up there with him again is Roybal. Also McKee flirting around the crease. Just a bit of a mess there between Landeros and Misevic. Landeros back with it again. Roybal, Misovic. Ghosting out wide. Pauls now. Misoa didn't know much about it, just flicked it away in a bit of a hurry. Got Kodama in front of him. He was a bit slow to react there. And Misovic dumping it towards the backboard. We're into the final 5 minutes here. Para ice hockey action from the Gangneung Hockey Centre on day 2 of Pyongyang 2018 Paralympic Winter Games. Pauls. Roybal making the dart in front of him. McKee's out wide right. Misawa trying to block off that option. Roybal is selfless and goes back for McKee, who himself wants Pauls to get on the score sheet. Monteros. Now it's Page. Page just saying to Pauls, get in front of me. You try and get on the score sheet now.
Hey, right, right.
Again, the Americans
There we go.
is quick to get the puck back, as they are at moving the puck when they have it. Roman. Pauls now. The anchor of the American defensive line. Threads it into the corner. And it will ricochet nicely from McDermott. USA with a tight schedule to come, day off coming on day 1. This is their first game of the group, and so they have to be on it, they have to be wise, and they have to keep up the levels of expectation that they have of themselves in the coming days. Czech Republic to come on day 3, Republic of Korea on day 4, and that'll be a very interesting watch indeed. As for Japan, just a 1 game left for them already now, after already facing Republic of Korea on day 1, going down 4-1 there. And I think they're going to get a penalty against McDermott there, and that's for teeing, and that's unnecessary on Kazuya Mochizuki. First American penalty of the match. Declan Farmer just taking a well-earned break right now after getting himself the goal, which seems a long time ago now, back in period 2. 3 assists as well in this game as Declan Farmer, as well as the goal. Luke McDermott out for roughing for the next 2 minutes. We'll take a break. The United States leading by 10-0. Must be difficult for Guy Gosling right now to channel his thoughts towards the American skaters. Likewise for Koji Nakita as well with his Japanese outfit, due to the noise levels here in the Gangneung Hockey Centre, which are reaching fever pitch. Kumagai locking horns with Pauls, and also joining in there is Hori as well. As Japan trying to make the most of this power play. McDermott out for 2 minutes for roughing. Sudo. Uehara. Have some of that, says Adam Page. Hori going forwards now. It's loose and it's picked up by Kumagai, who completely fluffed his lines, and Lee will batter it away. Just over a minute remaining of this power play. Under 2 minutes remaining of the final period of action. Can Japan get a goal, a consolation like they did against Republic of Korea on day 1? Just to keep the Japanese faithful happy. They won on that play with Takahashi, the scorer from day 1, straying offside there. As Kumagai thought he threaded through a gap on the far side. Another face-off, this one a lot tighter around, but again it's the Americans recycling, and it stumps into the Japanese bench. And, well, with reactions like a cat there, Koji Nakakita managed to get himself out of the way. Well, with reactions like that, get him in net for the Czech Republic game on day 3. Time running out for Japan to try and maximise the man advantage. It's the best chance they're going to get throughout the game, but unfortunately for them, it's probably come when they're most tired. 2 games in 24 hours against such intense offensive opposition as well, with the Republic of Korea and the United States. It's a very tough task. Kumagai gets one on target, but it's food and drink for Jen Lee. And the final seconds count down, and McDermott will arrive back on the ice with the USA still with the shutout intact. Japan have not scored against America in a Paralympic game since 1998. Will they buck the trend now? They've got inside 30 seconds to do it, and the Americans not allowing them at all that opportunity. And Paul so quick there to just shove the puck away. It's slammed back in towards the crease, but actually blocked by the Japanese outfit. And that should be that. It'll be tight. They'll want the puck back in the corner, will Japan, but they won't get it. And they will not get the goal that they wanted either, as the USA have run out with 10 goals in what was a superior display of attacking intent, flair, and a mix of goals as well, with a variety of scorers. 8 scorers, a hat-trick for Brodie Roybal, 10 goals for the United States, who released themselves from the launch pad here in Pyeongchang for the 2018 Paralympic Winter Games. Fist pumps all around. Japan will enjoy and certainly make the most of their day's break on day 3. As for the Americans, they're back to the grind to face Czech Republic on day 3 to try and make it 2 wins from 2. All smiles for the Stars and Stripes, as it's been a relentless second game in as many days for Japan, who've conceded 14 goals in the process and have failed once again to score against the USA, who may be ruthless in front of goal, but they are extremely dogged and prudent on the defensive line as well. Goal there for Jack Wallace, the 19-year-old. And that's the worrying thing for the other contenders in the para ice hockey world right now. The United States are a team breeding youngsters, and extremely talented youngsters at that. They are fit athletes who train regularly across the week on the upper body, and it's certainly proving that the pre-Paralympic camp that the United States had in Chicago after the Turin Games in January to now at the Paralympics may work dividends. Still a long way to go, of course. As for Japan, defeat for them against the USA, just like back in 2010 in the gold medal match in Vancouver. But this United States side are a completely different proposition to that now. 10 goals in all, 3 points in the bag. And what a way to delight the travelling Americans who have made the trip across the North Pacific, to be here in the Republic of Korea for a performance as delightful as that. Japan will go again, as they perhaps knew it would go down to their final game against the Czech Republic on day 4. A big couple of days ahead for them in order to prepare for that, as the two best teams from the World Championship B pool in 2017 will go head to head. But as for the United States, so with the smiles for them, that will be the headline after this. United States 10, Japan 0.
이어지는 경기는 한국과 체코의 오후 3시 30분 경기입니다.
At this time, we ask that you please assist us by taking your trash and personal belongings with you as you leave the seating areas. We thank you for your cooperation.
장내가 혼잡하오니 관중 여러분의 안전을 위해 운영 인력의 통제에 따라 퇴장해 주시기 바랍니다. 개인 쓰레기는 가지고 나가 주시면 감사하겠습니다. 관중 여러분의 양해 부탁드립니다. 가신 길까지 안전히 돌아가십시오. 고맙습니다.
It was Canada stealing the headlines on day 1 with 17-0 success against Sweden, but North American rivals, the United States, have certainly come to shine on day 2 in their first game of Pyeongchang 2018 at the Paralympic Winter Games. Those who have made the long trip from the United States here to the Republic of Korea will be smiling all day today after that performance. 10 goals in total and a hat-trick for Brodie Roybal sees the United States go top of Group B. United States 10, Japan 0. Goodbye.
For your safety.